Good evening. So I used to sit on this board, so this is kind of fun to be able to open the first meeting of the 2019 RTM. So we are starting our organizational meeting. And item number 1 on the call is the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask our illustrious town clerk to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I ask everyone to stand for a moment of silence? We lost a 33-year-old resident this weekend in a car accident. Thank you. Item number 2 on the call is to elect a moderator and a deputy. Oh, roll call. Uh-oh. Thank you. Thank you, Betsy. Okay, so I'm supposed to ask for the clerk to call the roll.
Steve Chesery. Michael Mahoney. Amy O'Shea. Ms. Iacono, would you like to make an announcement about District 1?
Yes, I would. Pamela Iacono, District 8. I would pleased to announce that Veronica Monahan from District 1 has filled the vacancy left by Ed Bateson. Veronica, if you could just stand up so everyone could see you. And we thank you for stepping in to serve in Ed's place. Welcome.
Veronica Monahan. Yeah. Bill Gerber. Here. Karen McCormick. Here. Cindy Perham. Here. Jeff Steele. Here. Alex Durrell. Here. Matt Jacobs. Here. Scott Nickel. Here. Sharon Pastilli. Here. Laura Carson. Here. Alice Kelly. Here. Meredith Odenak. Here. Marcy Spolier. Here. Josh Garskoff. Here. Julie Gottlieb. Here. Joe Siebert. Here. Jay Wolk. Matt Ambrose, Hannah Gale, here. Lisa Havey, here. Tamisha Paul Dunmore, Lauren Bove, here. Mark McDermott, here. Jill Vergara, here. Karen Wackerman, here. Hank Ferentz, here. Pamela Iacono, here. Christine Messina, here. Pete Tallman, Brian Farnan, here. Drew Georgiadis, here. Chrissy Kelly, here. Bill Perugini, here. Janine Alianiello, Elizabeth Altabelli, Frank Patisse, Marissa Ringel.
Before I start, I would just like to say that I really look forward to working with each and every one of you. I'm going to be scheduling district meetings in my office as soon as I get caught up, but I really look forward to listening to the issues that are facing each one of your districts and to work together to achieve the priorities that you have. And I'm really excited to be doing this job, and I'm looking forward to your help and your guidance and your assistance. So happy term. We have 2 years to go, right? You guys are on 2 years. So we're going to now open up item number 2 to elect a moderator and deputy moderator for the ensuing year. And I'm going to ask, I'm going to make a motion and ask for any nominations from the floor for moderator. Come here.
Thank you. Jill Vergara, District 7. The entire time, Jerry? Yes. Oh, wow. Okay. I'd like to nominate Karen Wackerman as our moderator. I've had the privilege to serve with her for 4 years. She is one of the fairest, most reasonable person I know with a great amount of integrity, and I think that she'll serve the community well.
Do I have a second? Second. Pamela Iacona seconds. Are there any nominations? Hearing none, I close the nominations. Do we need a roll call, Betsy, or voice vote? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Congratulations. Now we do deputy. Open up the floor to nominations for the deputy moderator. Are there any nominations?
Hi, Sharon Pastilli, District 3. I'd like to nominate Mark McDermott for deputy moderator. He's served as deputy moderator in the past. He's highly committed to our town, and he would do a great job in the position.
Are there any other nominations? Is there a second? Jay Wolk seconds. Are there any other nominations? The nominations are closed. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Congratulations. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'm looking forward to this term. Be patient with me while I learn the new names. I'm not great with names. Our next item on the agenda is to nominate and elect members to serve on the Special Legislative Management Committee. Do I have a motion to Jill Vergara, Representative Vergara? Oh, right.
Jill Vergara, District 7. I'd like to nominate Sharon Pastilli, Julie Gottlieb, Pam Iacono, and Jeff Steele.
Second.
Could you nominate me?
Oh, sure, and Jill Vergara.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, congratulations. We're going to, we're going to recess briefly while SLMC forms the committees, but I first wanted to take care of the minutes, which was item 2 on the agenda, to consider and act upon the minutes of the special meeting held on October 10th, 2019, and the regular meeting held on October 28th, 2019. Do I have a motion? Motion by Representative Iacono. Any second by Representative Spalier. Any discussion on either of those minutes? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Julie abstains. Julie Gottlieb. Okay, thank you. So we're going to take just a quick 5-minute break while the SLMC forms the committees, and then they'll come back and announce who's on all the committees. I think I need a motion for a recess. Mr. Wolk, seconded by Representative Beauvais. All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Madam Moderator, we're ready when you are.
Okay, everybody, let's get back to the meeting. Representative Iacono, are you reading the members of the committees?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. The SLMC has met. We elected Jill Vergara chairman. We elected myself as vice chairman and Julie Gottlieb as the secretary. We wish to announce the following committee assignments. Josh Garskoff on L&A, Bill Gerber, Drew Georgitis, Karen Wackerman, Jill Vergara, Pam Iacono, Christine Messina, Jeff Steele. Finance Committee, Julie Gottlieb, Sharon Pastilli, Joe Siebert, Matt Jacobs, Tamisha Powell-Dunmore, Hank Ferentz, Mike Mahoney, Amy O'Shea. Public Works and Planning, Jay Walk, Lauren Beauvais, Meredith Odenak, Lisa Havey, Frank Patisse, Janine Alianello, Karen McCormick, Marissa Ringel. Public Health and Safety, Cindy Parham, Laura Carson, Hannah Gale, Matt Ambrose, Bill Perugini, Elizabeth Altobelli, Steve Chisari, Veronica Monahan. Education and Recreation, Mark McDermott, Scott Nickel, Marcy Spolier, Alice Kelly, Peter Tallman, Alex Durrell, Brian Farnan, Chrissy Kelly.
Thank you very much. So we have a couple more items for organization. The first one's going to be a little logistically challenging, but I'd like everyone to find their committees for just 5 minutes and elect leadership. We do this during our organizational meeting. I just wanted to mention a couple things about committee meetings for people who are new. What we always do is sit together as a group and listen to the people we'll be voting about, or the issues we'll be voting about, and then we break into committees and talk about the issues on the agenda for the next week, and then we vote on them. And it's important that the secretary of each committee do the minutes quickly. Under FOIA, I think the clerk is supposed to know within 48 hours what the votes are, and the minutes should be in within a week. And the reason we need the votes really quickly is because if something's approved by every committee, it can go on a consent calendar for the following week, and things move faster at the next meeting. So just for folks who are new, that's something to keep in mind. So, okay, so we have one more item on the organizational meeting, and that is to approve the calendar for the year. Do I have a motion to approve the calendar as set forth in the minutes? Representative Wolk, seconded by Representative Iacono. Any discussion? Representative Vergara.
Jill Vergara, District 7. In light of the Board of Finance's scheduled meeting for the budget that's scheduled in the beginning of April, I'd like to make sure that we have our budget meetings after they've made their decisions and we have the amended budget. So I'd like to change April 1st and April 2nd to April 6th and April 7th. It's a Monday and a Tuesday.
That's an amendment to the motion to approve these, the calendar. Is there a second? Representative Pastilli. Representative Iacono, did you want to comment? Oh, okay, thank you. Let's vote on any discussion on the motion to amend. Representative Spolier? Yeah, we checked on that. Okay. Any other discussion on the motion to amend? Okay. All in favor of the motion to amend the dates from April 1st and 2nd to April 6th and 7th on the calendar? Please say aye if you're in favor. Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Okay. So we'll go back to the main motion. All in favor of approval of the calendar for this coming year, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions. Okay, thank you. So this will conclude our organizational meeting, and we'll move right into the committee meeting. I think we'll keep the seats as is, even though we normally have a different configuration. So can I have a motion to adjourn the organizational meeting? Representative Vergara, seconded by Representative Wolk. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, thank you. Okay, let's get started with the meeting of the committees. I think we'll not do the roll call and the Pledge of Allegiance because we've done that already. It looks like the only people we have at the moment to speak with us are our fire chief, and I'm happy to see you. This is regarding item 7 and 8. If you'd like to come forward and... Okay.
I got to come over there.
Down the mic the whole time.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here tonight. There are 2 items before the RTM for consideration. The first is approval of signature authority for the first selectwoman as we participate in the regional emergency planning team. With the change of administration, we require our governing body's approval for all of the grants and programs that we participate in the Department of Emergency Services and Homeland Protection, Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Emergency Management, and the Regional Emergency Planning Team. We receive $30,000 a year for the Fairfield Emergency Management Team's participation in the grant program, as well as other grants that become available, and this will allow the first selectwoman to sign for those as they come up during the course of her administration.
Does anyone have any questions for Chief McCarthy about this item? Okay, maybe you can address the next item. Thank you.
The second item is a grant for $121,000 under a port security grant. Annually, this grant becomes available. The police department and the fire department have received grants through this program previously. Under this grant, we will receive software to allow us to be compatible with the U.S. Coast Guard for search and rescue missions. We will upgrade our electronics on the fireboat, and in the 3rd year of the program, we will replace the outboard motors and sell as surplus the existing outboard motors on the fireboat. The grant performance period is 3 years. We will use existing apparatus maintenance funds in year 1. We will budget for the town share in year 2 and in year 3, a total of somewhere around $30,000 of local share that will be required for us to participate in the grant, for which we'll receive $90,000 worth of goods and services paid for by the federal government.
Does anyone have any questions on this item for the chief? No? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll come back next week.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks. We have several nominations. We don't usually clap, but he deserves it. He's the best. We do have several nominations on our agenda. Is Mr. Cliver here? Would you like to come up and introduce yourself? Adam Cliver is a nominee, or was approved by the Board of Selectmen for the Historic District Commission, and the RTM will be asked to approve him next week.
My name's Adam Cliver. What can I tell you about myself? I grew up in Southport. My parents lived in the historic district. I'm an architect, and I happen to have a passion for historic architecture. I've been on the commission for 13 years, through various serving partial terms here and there, and was recently asked if I wanted to be reappointed for another 5-year term. And I guess I'm a glutton for punishment, and so that's me.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Cliver? Representative Vergara?
Sorry, Jill Vergara, District 7. I wanted to see if you currently live in a historic district?
No.
No. Okay, and where do you reside?
I live on Hillside Road.
Oh, okay, and is that close to?
Yes.
So where would it be close to? The Old Post Road, Greenfield Hill,
No,
or
it's in Greenfield
Southport?
Hill. Hillside
Okay.
is in Greenfield Hill, and it's, it's probably less than a mile from the border. The address is 280 Hillside Road. It's less than a mile from the border of the historic district of Greenfield Hill Historic District. There are 3 historic districts. If you're not familiar with the historic district in Fairfield, so we live just outside of the Greenfield Hill Historic District.
I'm sorry, we weren't provided with information about other members of the committee currently, which we usually do. I just wanted to see if you know of what the composition is like right now for representation from the other historic districts, because we were aiming to get someone represented from each of those historic districts, the 3.
At the moment, there's 1 commissioner from the Old Post Road, I think 1, and there's 2, at least 1, if not 2, from Southport. No, and then, I'm sorry, there's 1 from Greenfield Hill as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so including myself and maybe 1 other, I think we're the only 2 who are not in the district.
And I also have a question about your service. Thank you so much for serving for so long. I know it's a big commitment, but I do know that there are limits to people's service. And my understanding was that it's 2 consecutive full terms. When did you begin serving?
Like I said, 13 years ago.
Okay.
And they were partial terms. I was surprised I was being reappointed myself. I thought I was ending my term. But when I was told that I could continue, I'm currently the chairman, but I just took on that role in July, and I'm enjoying it. So I thought I'd stay with it. I don't know if I'll continue, if I will fulfill the full 5-year term, but for the near term, I'd like to continue.
If it's possible through the moderator to contact the town attorney, I'd just like to get some of those details about the service. I know it's a charter requirement that people serve only 2 consecutive terms for a reason. I also, this is less a question for you, but more for almost a point of information for the body. I was wondering whether anyone on this body had been contacted for advice in terms of appointments to the HDC, because I read in the town charter that for Historic District Commission, the RTM is supposed to give advice and consent.
Representative Iacono.
Jerry, does it matter? Tonight. Is it on now? Did you serve as an alternate capacity?
Yes, for a long time, actually.
So the appointments for the Historic Commission were all vetted through the previous administration's administrative assistant who handled all the appointments. And she verified all of the terms of whether or not people were eligible to be reappointed. So there are some instances where people were serving as alternates and then move up to full members. That's how it sounds like he's not eligible for reappointment. But so I think we need to verify all of that with the First Selectman's office. And then the charter language that you asked for about consulting on the, does that just mean that it goes from the RTM or?
There's a reason why it's very unusual element.
And then the other thing I just wanted to speak to too, Representative Agar, was through you, Madam Moderator. It is incredibly hard to find people that actually live in the historic district to serve on the Historic District Commission. You and I have been through this before, trying to find people, and that's why there's currently a vacancy sitting, and it has been sitting on the Historic District for a while, because it's hard to find someone who actually lives in that district, in a district, to serve. But currently, to my knowledge, because we put most of those people on last term, I think everyone lives in one of the districts. You mentioned that maybe someone doesn't, but to me, we have 2 Greenfield Hill, we've got Southport, we've got Old Post Road, and we have 1 vacancy because, like I said, it's so hard to find the people.
I do realize we have a vacancy on as an alternate, and I do deeply appreciate your service. That's a really long time to serve. I just want to be conscious about the charter provisions and make sure. I do know I've gone through this with Kathleen Griffin, and I had an email from, I don't know, 4 years ago about this topic, and it did include alternate service. So I wanted to check that. And with the advice and consent, I had never realized that there was that language in the charter for Historic District Commission, and it makes sense to me as an RTM member. I live in a historic district. I think that we have something to offer in terms of who we know, our neighbors, and there might be a reason to be asking the RTM's advice on this issue.
Thank you, Mr. Cliver. Oh, maybe not. Representative Representative Goldstein.
Past 13 years, nobody asked one question.
Julie Gottlieb, District 5. First of all, thank you very much for your service, and I'm going to let you off the hook because I actually have a general question statement as opposed to specifically. I think it would be very helpful going forward through you, Madam Moderator, to Town Hall to get the what I'm accustomed to seeing in terms of not only the resume, but also the application, and also the cheat sheet, there's a formal name for it, that shows the current members that are on any commission, what their term of service is and what their affiliation is. And that would have helped because we would have seen that there are in fact people in some of the other districts being served. So if we could start getting that going forward, I think that'd be really helpful. Thanks.
Are there any more questions for Mr. Cliver? Oh, yep.
Thank you. Hi there. Oh, you have to hold down the button now. This button the whole time you talk.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations, Moderator Wackerman. My name is Marissa Ringel. I'm from District 10, which includes the very historic sections of Southport. My family's been involved with Schweitzer's Pharmacy since the 1940s. And I've known Adam and his wife, Annie, for a very long time, and his work is incredible. It is of the utmost aesthetic. We'd be lucky to have him remain on the commission. And I have a question for you. How many homes have you or your firms that you've worked with, how many of them have been in historic districts in Fairfield? Do you want
I've worked on 3 homes in in Southport, and one up in Greenfield Hill. And I think that's it.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Is Mr. Pagnosi here? Joseph Pagnosi is, with the Board of Selectmen has approved his reappointment to the Solid Waste and Recycling Commission, and will be asked next Monday to approve that.
So, do I speak in here? Over here? Well, you know, someone called me, Betsy Brown. She said, come in at 7:30. Do I hold this down? Holding it down the whole time. Okay, so I didn't know I was coming to this meeting, RTM. I would not have come. No, I'm only kidding. So they asked me to do the reappointment again on the Recycling Solid Waste Commission, so that's why I'm here. I've been teaching over 45 years. I presently teach college chemistry, been doing that 36 years. So I look at it that way. I look at what compounds go into the recycling. I look at it like that. So I have my input into that. Because I am concerned about what toxins are out there and what affects our family members and us. I was trained in pharmacy. I went to St. John's Pharmacy School in the 70s, so I have a background in that and understanding. I worked in hospitals, and I've been teaching since the 73, well, different levels. So that's my service. My whole life has been service. So they asked me to redo reappointment. Kind of reluctant commissioner, I guess, but so I'm here for a reappointment.
Does anyone have any questions? Representative Pistilli.
No, I have questions all the time. That's my job.
Sharon Pistilli, District 3. So I was formerly chair of the Solid Waste and Recycling Commission for about 10 years. And my term of service overlapped with Mr. Pagnosi, and I wholeheartedly am behind his reappointment to Solid Waste and Recycling. He's really, has a very strong background, and he's a great neighbor. So thank you, Joe, for your service.
Anyone else? Okay, yep, Representative Vergara.
Jill Vergara, District 7. It's just the same question that I asked before. When you were originally appointed, when was that date?
I don't remember exactly. It was 2015.
Oh, okay.
So my term, I had one term, and I'm getting reappointed.
Thank you.
It was expired. I wasn't even aware of that.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Pagnosi.
With all respect.
Because I was there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Van Steenbergen, are you here? Mr. Van Steenbergen has been approved to be appointed to the Ethics Commission, approved by the Board of Selectmen, and will vote on this appointment on Monday.
How's that? Yes, I'm Craig Van Steenbergen. I live at 292 Riverside Drive. Previously, I've served on the Shellfish Commission. Going back 25 years, Shellfish Commission. I served on the Town Facilities Committee, as well as the School Space Committee. And most recently, I have served as the chairman of the Fire Commission for the last year. That was a 10-year term. I served twice as the chairman. In addition, I was the chairman of the Building Committee for Tomlinson Middle School. That goes back over 10 to 12 years now. I'm currently an architect. I work in the city of New York, and I'm a assistant scoutmaster with Troop 82 here in Fairfield.
Are there any questions? Representative Georgiadis.
Drew Georgiadis, District 9. I've known Craig since the 90s. We used to commute together on Metro North. Knowing him in that way, fantastic guy. I wholeheartedly support his nomination. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you, Mr. Steenburgen, Van Steenburgen. We'll see you Monday. Oh, you don't need to come Monday, actually. Yeah, thank you. With that, we can adjourn the committee meeting, and if you could all move into your individual committees and meet about these items. Thank you.